The gathering of Ijaw nation in Bayelsa, Yenegua, precisely the state capital, the Jerusalem of Ijaw nation, is far beyond what is happening in River State. You know, since after 1999, when the Ijaw nation gathered in Kayama, where the IYC, our one and only pressure group, was bettered. Since after that, we haven't had a reason to gather our house. So I can categorically say that what happened in River State, to a larger extent, is blessing in disguise, because it has also awakened the consciousness of the Ijaw ethnic nationality, why they need to sit down and critically assess their existence as a people in the country called Nigeria. And you know, they always said there are times when issues happen, it also give results to a form of blessings. As a conscious Ijaw youth, and as the president of the formidable Ijaw Youth Council, IYC, I believe that the River State incident awakened the consciousness of the Ijaw people, and it has given us reasons why we need to reassess ourselves, and that has led to this gathering where very pertinent and important issues were raised and discussed. First of all, the Niger Delta that we find ourselves is the center of minority. And as such, Ijaw happens to be the largest ethnic nationality that domicile here in the Niger Delta. And all our agitations has always been the well-being of the entire minorities in the Niger Delta. When you come to the oil and gas industry, I can categorically tell you that about 75% of the oil and gas facility and activities are domiciled in Ijaw land. For the well-being and the survival of Ijaw nation, the Nigerian nation, the Ijaw ethnic nationality has over time contributed a quota. We understand that we have been clamoring for resource control. That has not come, but we have been comfortable living with our neighbors, our brothers, from all these geopolitical zones, irrespective of what we are contributing to the Nigerian state and what we are getting as a people. We can recall that some of these fears were the reasons why the late Major Azikboro of blessed memory decided to declare the Niger Delta Republic that lasted for 12 days, which is called the 12-day revolution. Down the line, we were believing that some forms of amendments are going to be made, and the interests and the fears of the minority will be put into consideration in the Nigerian state. And today, in our own generation, the things that the likes of late Major Azikboro was afraid of are still being made manifest in our own generation. And it calls for worry. We can recall the first executive governor of Bayelsa State was impeached. It is the same enemies of Ijaw nation, just because he was championing the fight for resource control. It is still fresh in our memory how he was embarrassed and taken out of office. Despite our contribution to the oil and gas industries, our lands and our environment is one of the highly polluted environments. We have been appealing to the federal government, even though resource control has not been granted to us. Try as much as possible to see how our environment can be put in order. Remediate our hydrocarbon polluted environment so that some of us that are farmers can go back to agriculture. The federal government decide to give us deaf ears. We are not jealous or envious of the Ogoni people, but their resolve have given them the needed results. Today, Ogoni land is being remediated just because they said that until their land is remediated, oil and gas activities is not going to be allowed. And today, their resolve have given them the results. As a Ijaw people, we believe it's high time we also take the Ogoni template. And some of the environmental challenges that we are facing, we are also discussed in the summit. So I'm just telling you that the crisis in River States, to a larger extent, is a blessing in disguise to Ijaw nation, because that has led to several issues that we are discussing as a people that has been affecting us. Today, Nigeria as a nation, when there are crises between a community and the Nigerian military, without due diligence investigation, our community are always being burnt down. The approach being given to our community is quite different from the approach elsewhere. So we begin to ask ourselves, if at all we are part of this nation called Nigeria, or we are second-class citizens. So what has happened in River State has given us the opportunity to analyze and critically give an appraisal of all that has been happening around the Ijaw nation. And we believe resolutions that are going to be reached will definitely chart the way forward for the Ijaw nation and the existence of the Ijaw people in this nation called Nigeria. This is just the first one. Subsequent meetings of Ijaw nation are going to be held where critical decisions are going to be taken. And we believe some of those decisions we will reassess ourselves, if at all as a people we have the number to ask for our own independence as a people. Let us have our own republic, since the Nigerian government have seen or have decided that we are fourth-class citizens in this country, not even second class. Because even in this current administration, under Bola Ahmed Tinubu, there is no Ijaw man that has a say. Even the minister that is from the homogeneous Ijaw state, Bayelsa state, has to lobby 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 persons before he can even gain access to discuss issues that has to do with the Ijaw nation. So we have seen that even our minister has been relegated to the background. Our issues are not being treated with all sense of seriousness under this administration. Our appeal of environmental remediation has been given deaf ear, despite our enormous contribution to the economic stability and well-being of this country. So, why do we have to keep ourselves in a nation that our contributions are not appreciated? Our struggle for the sustenance and unity of the country called Nigeria is not being appreciated. Rather, we are always being used in the political chess game. Today, a governor is being removed. The NDDC, that is our only interventionist agency, has now been turned to a political ground where funds are now being used to carry out political or use funds from our NDDC being used to fund political activity instead of using it to develop the infrastructural deficiencies that our people are facing. There is no appointee in this administration that is from the Ijaw extraction that have express access to the president and commander-in-chief of this country. And we happen to be the fourth largest ethnic nationality. That calls for a concern. So we are assessing the situation, and in no distance time, the Ijaw people are going to take their stand if we have to give and write to all the necessary agencies, parastatal international communities, why a referendum needs to be called for the Ijaw people to express if they are going to be part of the Nigerian state or they want to have their own country. Because before the amalgamation of this country between the Southern and the Northern protectorates, the concerns of the minorities were raised. And today, those concerns are coming into reality. So we believe that the country called Nigeria is no longer comfortable with us as a people. We have to make self-assessments and ask for a referendum where the Ijaw people can easily vote either to be part of the Nigerian country or they are going to have their own way. So those are some of the discussions that we had in the just concluded summit, and we are believing that more meetings are going to be held where final decisions are going to be made and our position are going to be communicated to the people, and in the appropriate times we are going to take the appropriate and rightful steps to either leave this country and have our own republic or be part of the system. But one thing is certain, the maltreatment that has been given to us have clearly shown that the Nigeria nation does not need the Ijaw people, and we don't need to pretend about that. It's high time we prepare ourselves and go our own separate way from the Nigerian country. You know, when Major Agboro made his declaration, it was Niger Delta Republic, because he believed and understood that the minorities in the Niger Delta are facing the same challenges in the Nigerian nation. But today, even inside the minorities, some are more comfortable with the alliance of the Nigerian government, and those in the corridor of power have decided to use some of the minority to cause more injury to the Ijaw ethnic nationality. And when we give appraisal of ourselves, in terms of population, in terms of landmarks, in terms of human capital resources, in terms of even economic and natural resources, we have what it takes to sustain ourselves. So we don't need any other ethnic minority in the Niger Delta. The Ijaw land, the Ijaw population, the Ijaw manpower is more than enough to have our own republic. So we are proposing for a Ijaw republic that will cater for the well-being and welfare of the Ijaw people. While the other minorities can be part of the Nigeria, or they might decide to join forces with the Biafra Republic and go their way. Nigeria, in as much as we are aware, we are not under any military regime. There is nowhere in the Nigerian constitution that states that there should be an appointment of sole administrators in a state under democracy. That on its own is an aberration, an abuse to the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended. We were expecting that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as a Democrat, will respect the Nigerian Constitution and make due diligent investigation before hurriedly swinging into action. What he has done in Rivers State to all Democrats and believers of democracy is an assault to model democracy. The governor of Rivers State has shown commitment to sustain peace in Rivers State, while the FCT minister, who is looking every means to see how he can grab power in Rivers State, has been bent on causing unrest in Rivers State. And that happens to be an appointee of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. If you are a lover of peace, tranquility, it is expected of you to first of all caution your minister, who have severally come to public domain to make his point clear that he is an interested party in the crisis that are happening in Rivers State. And for a president to come and suspend an elected governor under this 21st century is a coup to democracy. And the Ijaw ethnic nationality will never accept that. We have rejected his action in all totality, while those of our elders, our leaders, are calling on Mr. President to see how he can immediately reverse that is wrong pronouncement, that is anti-democracy. We are calling on the international community to know those that are trying to cause insecurity in the Niger Delta by using the Rivers State political crisis. Sole administrator to manage affairs of a state under democratic regime. I've not heard it anywhere. It's the first time it's happening. When we asked what was the reason why state of emergency was declared and why the power grabbing, they said that it is as a result of pipeline vandalism that the governor refused to communicate the president on happenings, and according to the unqualified Attorney General of the Federation, coming to make statements that the governor is teleguiding militants to carry out pipeline vandalism activities. So you begin to wonder, when did they investigate what was happening in Rivers State, that it was as a result of governor's directive? The one that happened in Gokana, the community leaders came out publicly to say that it was as a result of communal differences, and the contractor that is handling the surveillance job in that particular line, they decided to put it on the neck of the governor just because they want to kill a dog. They have to give it a bad name. That is what the presidency under Bola Ahmed Tinubu and those undemocratic appointees that is under his cabinet have decided to do. But as an Ijaw man, Ijaw Nation have told him categorically that we are going to resist that statement with all sense of humility, and every necessary step that needs to be taken, we will take. The sole administrator, which they have used to grab power in River State, have now also come with the template by making appointments, making pronouncements that will further aggravate the anger of the people of River State. We are aware they just want to cause unnecessary unrest in River State to justify their undemocratic action that they have taken. Some of them were believing that maybe when that pronouncement is made, the Ijaw people will now go ahead, blow up pipeline, cause pipeline vandalism, cause we are wiser. No level of anger will make us to go and attack any pipeline or go and vandalize pipeline that will end up polluting our environment. The already polluted environment that we are calling for people to go and remediate, is that the same environment that we will now go and pollute the remaining ones that our parents are using to do their little farming? There is no way that they will aggravate our anger that will make us to take those kind of steps. The Ijaw Nation is wiser, and we are going to be taking wiser steps to fight them. If they are thinking that we will continue to blow pipeline or Ijaw people or our people will control, it's a big lie. They have failed. We are not going to allow them to aggravate our anger, and we will now end up polluting our environment. It's not going to happen. Rather, we will use other means. Democracy is a game of number. 2027 is just by the corner. The Ijaw Nation is going to gather, and we are going to see who we are going to align with that will protect the interests of the Ijaw Nation. But one thing is certain: Ijaw land has never been a conquered territory, and it is not under our watch that we will allow some group of persons to come and undermine us and tell us that we have been conquered. We can never. The Ijaw man has never gone to war and been defeated. So it's not under our regime, not under our header that we will allow that to happen. We will fight this fight till our governor, our son, is being restored and reinstated as the governor of River State to complete his first term and subsequently his second term as 8 years governor of River State. We cannot allow any group of persons, those anti-democratic miscreants, to come and cajole us. So we are appealing to Mr. President once again to go and remove that illegal entity he called his sole administrator, a name, a position that is not found in democracy. And River State, our dear state, cannot be under military watch when the entire nation is practicing democracy. It's an aberration and it's unacceptable. let him go and remove his illegal administrator to avoid breakdown of law and order. One thing is certain. As a son, if you tell me that you are my friend, no matter how tattered, unkept my father is, it is your responsibility to respect my father just for the sake of our friendship. Wike, as a friend to Ijaw nation, has abused his privileges. And from the day he made those derogatory statements, he stopped to exist as a friend to Ijaw nation. He has been totally and completely rejected by Ijaw nation. And there is no part in the Ijaw nation that will accommodate him or accept him. There is a saying that in every palace there are saboteurs, there are Zudas. Those Zudas in the Ijaw nation that have decided to be his slave, that is operating the slave master and the slave boy relationship, has nothing to do with Ijaw nation. Those are people that have decided to sell their king in order to become a palace boy in the palace of his father's enemy. So Ijaw nation has nothing to do with them. They have sold their conscience. They have told the entire world that them and Wike are operating a slave master and slave boy relationship. They can never speak for Ijaw nation. The entire Ijaw nation have rejected Wike, and he has ceased to become a friend of Ijaw nation. And we have made it point blank, categorically, that we don't have, the Ijaw nation does not have any crisis with the Ekwere ethnic nationality. But an Ekwere son has insulted the entire Ijaw ethnic nationality, and the Ijaw nation have rejected him, and he ceased to be a friend to the Ijaw nation. And any Ijaw son or daughter that is dining and whining with him are his slaves, and they can never speak the position of the Ijaw nation.